Hey guys, you're watching ZOneNOnly. My name is AJ and this is lesson 1 of School of Redstone. So you might be here because your redstone knowledge goes as far as opening and closing the door to your house. So we know that a lever when turned on will open the door and when turned off will close it, and a button will temporarily open the door but then will automatically close it. If this is as far as your redstone knowledge goes, you might not use many of these, which is a redstone torch. Now the redstone torch is basically the battery of redstone, and it can power redstone in 4 different directions. But there is a 5th use of a redstone torch, which is to power the block above it. So here we have a redstone torch powering the block above it, which is why the signal on the top of the block is turned on. So using our knowledge that a block can now hold charge, we can now turn on and off a lever which isn't connected to a door. It's connected to the block below it, but the door still functions like normal. Another thing to note is that a redstone torch cannot simply be turned off with a lever. There's a lot of strange logic to redstone which we will go through over the next few episodes. But using the knowledge that the block again can be charged, we can turn the redstone torch off when the power going to it powers the block. So when the power going into the block is powered, it turns the redstone torch off. When there isn't any power going to it, the redstone torch turns back to its default position of on. Whenever you place a torch, it automatically turns it on. So this is basically an inverter where we can invert the signal coming out. The more common layout for a inverter is this, where the block is then connected to a redstone torch and then the signal out. So when we turn the signal on, it inverts the output, turning it off. So when the switch is off, the output's on. When the switch is on, the output is now turned off. So using an inverter in the same example as here, both signals are turned off, but this redstone torch is turned off and this one's turned on. So when we turn this one connected to the inverter on, the redstone torch comes on, but when we turn this one on, the redstone torch goes off. Again, just the very simple redstone inverter here, inverting the signal. But they can also be more compact. In this example we have the switch connected straight to an inverter, connected straight to the door. So both switches are off now, but because this one's connected to an inverter, the output is on, therefore the door is open, when here the door is off because the input is off. We turn the input on, the inverter inverts the signal, closing the door. We have a final example of inverting here. The piston on the left is connected to an inverter, when the piston on the right just has a simple redstone signal coming through. So when we turn it on, the piston on the right goes up, when the one on the inverter turns the piston back to its normal state of off. So you might have come across another problem of that redstone signal can only travel a certain distance. On this example here we have a piston set up at the end which isn't being turned on or off when the switch is, because redstone can only travel a maximum of 15 blocks. After 15 blocks the redstone signal just can't get any further. You can see little particles coming off here now and again, and that's how you know that the signal is on, as well as it's slightly lit up, and it gets more and more brighter the closer you get to the input source. So when you do come across this problem, you use one of these. This is a redstone repeater and its default position is here. So using a redstone repeater, we can now put it at the 15th block away and then bring the signal back, and it can go even further. So now we have a piston going twice as far as that piston was, but that one doesn't work and this one does work because of a simple repeater. But a repeater can have different states. So its default state is with the two miniature redstone torches, if you like, at its closest together. But you can move these further and further away. And the further they are away, the greater the delay is going through the repeater, delaying the signal from getting through. So here we have a bunch of redstone signals set up, each on the longest delay possible. So when we turn the switch on, the redstone signal slowly makes its way up because the repeaters are set at their longest delay possible, and the redstone and the piston goes up. Sorry. When we turn it off, we can then watch the redstone signals slowly get turned off through the repeaters, and then once it gets its way back round, it can then be turned off. But these can also be used in bursts. So if we do a short burst on the lever and turn it back off, we get the signal go up by itself, and then the signal comes back down, turning the piston up and then down. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first lesson of School of Redstone. We'll be getting into more complicated stuff in the upcoming episodes, and we should start finding real uses for inverters and repeaters. But before we can do that, we had to fully understand what each of them does and how they work. So if you do like it, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment if you do have a question, and if you have something that you want me to cover in a later episode, if you leave it in the comment section below, I will be sure to cover it. So tune in for lesson 2, and we shall see you next episode.